Hey guys, I'm so sorry I forgot to include an intro video, so I sat down with my friend Greg, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hey guys, I'm so excited. I have Greg Yeutter here with me. Greg is awesome and a super dope founder. We met about, what is it, like 2 years ago now? And so he's really killing it with his company. And so, Greg, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Thanks, Neha, for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So why don't we just kind of, I know your business, but let's hop right in. And if you want to do like a quick intro about you and your business, go for it.
Sure. My name's Greg Yeutter. I live in Philadelphia, and I'm the founder of Restful. We're focused on making sleep technologies, and our biggest product to date is called Bedtime Bulb. It's a light bulb that you use before you go to sleep, which reduces blue light. This is the top-selling sleep light bulb in the US and Canada. And hardware businesses are fun in many ways, but we are eventually expanding worldwide. We're making our way to the rest of the world right now.
That's actually so exciting. I did not know that.
Yeah,
Good for you. Way to kill it.
thanks.
So why did you even go down this path? Like what made you want to start the bedtime bulb?
Okay, so long story, but when I was in college, I was working in a lab that was looking at the effects of light on health. And specifically, we were looking at how blue light interrupts sleep. You know, there's kind of this blue light talk these days. And we were specifically looking at how blue light affects dementia. Um, and we were doing research on this or trying to do research on this, but the problem was at the time it was really hard to build the stuff that we needed to do to do the research. So I actually started on this path of starting by making the equipment that you could use to do research. So we made these really fancy, expensive light fixtures and controls. And then over time, working in the commercial lighting space, I realized that, hey, this idea is starting to catch on, but it's so much easier just to convince one consumer instead of, you know, going to a company board and trying to get 20 people to agree to something to retrofit their entire building. So that's really where the idea for Bedtime Bulb came from. It was like, let's take this idea and put it into a simple, affordable product that anyone could buy. You only need one decision maker. And that's turned out to be quite the right move because to my knowledge, we're the top selling circadian lighting product.
Woo. I think it's so necessary now because, everyone's on their phones all the time. Like, I know I have such a bad habit of like being on my phone before I go to bed, and that totally disturbs how you sleep. Like,
Yeah.
and I tell myself, I'm like, this is bad. Like, I really should stop doing it. But I'm definitely at that, like, it's so habitual now that, like, to try to break that, I'm like, oh my God. So I feel like having a light bulb like this is super, super important and really useful because not even just me, but I know there's so many other people who like struggle with sleeping, and a lot of times it's like you don't think of like all these other distractions that you have. And what would you say has been like the hardest part of like being a business owner, like the hardest thing about, founding a light bulb company? It's not like an app or anything. Like, what are sort of the challenges that you have with that?
Yeah. Well, any type of business is going to have its own challenges, right?
Mhm.
But with hardware businesses, the supply chain really rules you and it really determines the speed at which you can run your business. So, of course, big companies like Apple have a lot of cash. So they're able to, not necessarily build factories because they don't own their factories, but they, have the capital resources and ability to go out and make massive change. And even that takes a while. For smaller guys, you have to deal with existing supply chains, try to fit yourself into that. And you can only iterate your business at the speed that your supply chain runs. So, with software, you could ship new software a couple times a week, or maybe even a couple times a day, depending on who you are. With hardware, we're talking about minimum 6 months iteration cycle.
Mhm.
So that's the speed at which your business changes. And it's a real challenge. I would say that I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for most people because, you know, I even struggle with it sometimes. It's like, God, why is this taking so long for this little thing to change?
Mhm.
Um, but on the flip side of that, you can turn it into a positive because it's so difficult. You know, it does keep people out. It does keep people who aren't really willing to iterate, you know, from wanting to even go down that path. So that is the advantage. And then here we are, you know, 2.5 years after launching the product, where we have a pretty stable position in the market. We sell well no matter what happens. And then when there's a press event, we're we're panicking. It's like, oh shoot, we don't have enough inventory again. So this is just the life of a hardware business.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, especially being like a smaller company. Like you're definitely like low on the list of priorities for manufacturers. They're like, yeah, you're like really small fish
It's
on
not
the.
even that though. Even if you know, we have good manufacturers that we've lined up,
That's good.
and you know, the only people who can really make what we can do, we've found them. But it's not just the manufacturers. It's the shipping, it's the supply chain, it's the customs part of the supply chain.
Mhm.
So there are all of these things that can break down, and you just get random delays and random challenges all over the place. So
Yeah.
think carefully if you want to start a hardware startup.
It's not as easy as it looks.
It's not.
And I guess on the flip side of that, like what's one of the coolest, most rewarding things about your business?
I mean, we've reached tens of thousands of people with this product. So I think that that's definitely the most rewarding part of it, to see that, you know, we have good reviews on Amazon, which means that our product and customer service are quite good. And to see that it is adding value to people's lives, I think that that's um, very gratifying and worth it to deal with small problems or big problems that you have here and there.
Also, like for all of you guys watching, I literally was on Facebook the other day and I saw this article. It was like an ad from Business Insider, and it was like a giant picture of Greg's face. And I was like, "Wait, did you see this?" And I like screenshotted it and I sent it over to him. I was like, "Dude, you're like literally on Business Insider." I didn't know if you
Yeah.
just knew that came out, but I was literally just like mindlessly scrolling, and I was like, I thought you posted it, and then I saw it
Mhm.
was like from Business Insider. I was like, "This is really cool."
Yeah, I mean that's the power of PR. I would say that most PR is a waste of time, but you should still put an effort into it because it's that like 5% of it that will really pay off.
Yeah.
And that wasn't paid. That was not. They reached out to us, so you know there's no advertorial content or anything like that. But you know I feel really lucky that we're able to get that kind of press, and we'll be doing more of that kind of stuff in the future.
That's awesome. I mean, I feel like there's also, I mean, I know like depending on what your industry is, but I feel like there's also a lot more like legitimacy, I guess, that you kind of get when you kind of get a um, big PR basically. So it's just cool. Bragging rights.
Absolutely.
um, and do you have any like advice for anybody who either wants to start a business or get into this industry? Do you have anything that you want to share?
I would say if you want to be an entrepreneur and start a business, that's the great first step. But you should really think about what problem you want to solve before you go into just starting a business, and the need should be there. So you should really try to talk to people, understand what the need is, even if you get misleading answers, even if people tell you, you know, I would never buy a $20 light bulb, for instance.
Hmm.
Um, turns out tens of thousands of people would. So, you know, it does happen that way. But, you know, you do want to understand the problem space. And if you don't feel ready or you don't feel you have the means, there's definitely the concept of entrepreneurship where you go to work at a company that's in the same problem space as you, and then you really learn what the problems are inside and out. For me, you know, I don't really consider myself a lighting industry person. I think, you know, the lighting industry, for better or worse, is kind of stuck in its own ways. And I definitely consider myself more of a tech person. So, you know, I try to surround myself with people from the tech industry and learn from them. And, you know, keep even building my business. It's a lighting hardware business that is built like a tech startup would be built.
Yeah, which is still like a really cool and innovative way, I guess, to kind of set things up. And also, how can anybody who's watching this follow you and stay in touch with you? Also, guys, Greg does have a YouTube channel. I'll link it down below. You guys should go subscribe to him.
I
But
do.
do you want to share other ways people can keep in touch with you?
Yeah, number one is YouTube for sure. That'll give me fodder to keep posting. And I've been a little overwhelmed the last couple of weeks, so the new videos are coming, I promise.
I was like,
Uh,
I went to your channel the other day and I was like,
yeah.
wait, he like literally hit 1,000 subscribers and was like, yeah, bye.
Yeah, no, I have like 1,800 now. And no, something is coming. I just have been very overwhelmed the past couple of weeks. So it's coming. The other places you can find me, of course, bedtimebulb.com. It's like bedtimelightbulb.com. I'm sure Neha will link it. And my own website, you can check out my name, greggyetter.com. If anyone can figure out how to spell that, you can just see more of the
I'll
other
link
cool stuff that
everything
I
here.
work
You
on.
guys will be
Yeah,
able to see everything.
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, this was super fun and really informative. And I'm really glad that you took time out of your day to chat with me. So thank you so much for doing this, Greg. And I'll link all of his stuff down here. So you guys make sure you check out Greg and subscribe to his channel and follow along with his story too.
Thanks a lot, Neha, for having me. Really appreciate it.
um,